Yeah, that's a hole. Thought I'd just put a little shorty tip here for maybe people who have zero experience in metalwork. I have very little, certainly no expert. Don't claim to know anything, but just showing you some. Let that car go by. Things I've learned. Um, this panel here was gone, and rather than try to shape all this, this is mostly flat. So I just cut a strip to go out, carry this line out even, mostly. Of course, there was a seam here. We'll grind this down a little better, and there'll be a little bit of filler here before we paint, but I went in what was left from the original here, and I've cut out a big chunk of just right here to start with, and this is all good metal here now. So what I've done, this is 20 gauge galvanized, and I've made that to roughly fit in there, and I've bent this mostly just to have a place to hold this in. What I'll do is use a hammer handle, hold this in till I can tack it, and then I'll grind away what I don't need, and I'll weld along this line here, and then there should be plenty of metal on the edges here to kind of buffer this out all the way around. And you're going to go over it with a little filler anyway. We've been using JB Weld initially because our welding is very amateur. We end up with pinholes. So JB Weld fills all that in, and then you can sand that down. And then if you want to come back with a little skim coat of body filler, then and I'll probably do something similar here. I'm going to grind this out, see if there's any good metal left in this. If I can keep all this, I will, and I'll just fill this with JB Weld. I've got another spot here I need to deal with. I missed that till just now. It seems they keep popping up. But here's kind of what we end up with. Did a similar repair here. And of course I made all of this. All this was completely gone. You can kind of see my seam here. This was left and this was all gone. And I've had to build this back out a little bit. This will be under the fender, so that won't be seen. I just got to close this gap in down here. And yeah, hope that helps somebody. I'm going to show you here. I'll tack this in and then grind it down. Alright, there we've got it kind of tacked in. I blew a few holes in it, but we'll take care of all that. As you can see, there's no big hole now. Several small holes, we can deal with that. I've got to fill in along this edge here still. It's getting late and cold, and I didn't want to lay down on the ground to do that, so pretty sure the majority of this I can just fill in with JB. If this is a little heavier steel, we could just fill those with weld, but it tends to burn through really easy on this factory stuff. Somebody said it was 24 gauge, I don't know. I showed you how I welded this in here, and we're just going to use JB Weld kind of like body filler. It's some expensive body filler. This steel is so thin, and we've got the rust out, but it's thin where it had rusted, you know. And it's really hard to weld without blowing holes in it. So what we've been doing is kind of patching the piece in here like I showed you, and then filling the holes up with this, and it's been working really good. And then we'll come back with the grinder and some sandpaper and kind of shape this back the way it was. And hopefully after some paint, spit and polish and baling wire and all that. Get in there. We're just hoping the door will close. That's all we care about.
Maybe some heat to stay in.
Yeah, that helps. Probably should have tried to weld something in them two holes there, but this stuff will set up a little bit. It'll quit sinking. Of course, after we sand this, we'll probably have to go over this with some Bondo.
No way.
Yeah, it's inevitable. Sorry. It's like Thanos. Inevitable. And here we have finally this area mostly completed. We've ground it down, sanded it, and primed it. Shows us we still have a little more work to do, but no more holes, no more rust. That's our mission.